Paul Graham from Optimal Body Personal Training. Today I'm going to answer the question, why am I always hungry? Obviously, what you eat impacts hunger levels in a big way. We cover this in another video. Today I'm going to focus more on physically what's going on in your internal environment that controls hunger. So there's two major factors. The first thing is stomach distension. So once your stomach begins to stretch out as a result of eating food, the sensory cells send your brain a message, and then your brain sends out signals to say, I'm satisfied, I don't need more food. So that's a big factor. Obviously, with weight loss surgeries, they change the size of the stomach, so this happens sooner. So the second thing, where we're going to spend most of our time today, is hormonal. So it's obviously a very complex topic. I'm going to really try to simplify this, and we're going to focus on just one of the hormones that plays a major role. So the hormone we're going to focus on is called leptin. This is a hormone released by your fat tissue. So the more body fat someone has, the more leptin they have in their system. Leptin helps to tell the brain when you've gotten enough nutrients, when you have more than enough stores of energy, which really means stores of body fat. Based on your leptin levels, the brain's going to change things like how hungry you are, your calorie intake, as well as your energy expenditure, so how much you feel like getting up and moving. So when the system's working properly, as your leptin levels increase, because body fat stores are going up, your brain makes you less hungry, so you eat less. Then they go back down to their regular levels. When this is working well, this keeps a person at a stable weight. As you lose weight, your body begins to decrease the leptin levels because you're losing stores of body fat, which is where leptin is released from. This signals your brain to say, you need to get hungry. So it sends the signals out to the body to start getting hungry. In addition to this, as the leptin levels decreasing, your brain signals your body that it should start moving around less. Obviously, these rising levels of hunger, as well as wanting to move less, makes it really hard if you're trying to stick to your diet and lose weight. So you might be wondering at this point, well, how does someone get overweight? Shouldn't the leptin levels, once you start increasing your body fat a little bit, cause you to get less hungry and you eat less? Well, some people's systems are a little bit more efficient than others in how it reacts to leptin, but an even bigger factor is two things that can actually change how your body's reacting to leptin. The first one is how palatable your food is. So if your food is really enjoyable and you really like eating it, you're more likely to be able to continue eating even if your body is producing more leptin. The second thing is how much that food triggers the reward centers of your brain. The more it triggers the reward centers of your brain, the easier it is for you to overeat on food. When you combine these two things in a meal, it makes it much easier to overeat. When you're doing this at multiple meals, it makes it easier to start to gain more body fat. So what are the things that are most likely to make a food more palatable and hit the reward centers of the brain? So these would be foods that are higher in processed fats, refined sugar, refined starches, salty foods, foods that have a texture that's either crunchy or really smooth and creamy. So as you can guess, a lot of people's favorite foods are likely to override the system a little bit and make it easier to overeat. One thing that's important to understand with food palatability and the reward centers of the brain, most major food companies hire scientists to actually create food and additives and things to make your food more palatable and to trigger those reward systems of the brain. So they're actually working against you. This is one of the reasons whole foods are so important. The other problem that goes along with this, people can become leptin insensitive. This is similar to type 2 diabetes, where someone becomes less sensitive to insulin. Same idea, where the brain becomes less sensitive to leptin. So that means the leptin is less likely to make you feel satisfied. So instead you need more leptin to get that feeling of satisfied. So where does your body get this extra leptin to try and make it satisfied? More body fat, because that's where leptin is released from. So you can see the problem this is going to create. So what can cause this leptin resistance in the body? They're still researching and studying this. So there's three things that researchers think may be causing or involved in this leptin resistance. One is having increased leptin levels in the blood. So the more leptin you have, then the more resistant your body becomes. Second thing is inflammation. So they think that the more inflammation in your body, the higher chances of becoming leptin insensitive and making it easier to overeat or being hungry a lot. The third thing is increased levels of free fatty acids in the blood. So hopefully you can see why this is important. As someone's dieting and trying to lose weight, their leptin levels are going to start decreasing when they start burning body fat. Then their brain is going to think, uh-oh, I need to eat more food. I need to make you more hungry. So then you start getting hungrier and hungrier. So in terms of real world, this is where a lot of people get stuck, where they are like, oh, I don't have enough willpower. I don't have enough motivation to stick to my diet. Oftentimes, what's happening is their leptin levels are dropping too quickly, which is making their hunger levels get too high. And that's actually what's causing the problem. So it appears like it's a weight loss problem. The weight loss industry would like you to think it's a weight loss problem, but it's actually not. It's actually a little bit of a problem with how the person's going about losing weight. So don't look at the whole leptin system as being a problem. It's just a factor, and you need your strategy of what you're trying to do to address that factor. So here are a few quick things you can do to help decrease having any issues around this. Number one, make sure you're getting enough lean proteins. There's some research out there that indicates protein can help to reduce leptin resistance. Second, make sure you're getting enough fruits and vegetables because the fiber will help to fill your stomach up, activate those sensors, and help your brain to signal so that it's not making you hungry. Third, make sure you're getting lots of whole foods. So we were talking about the palatability and reward centers of the brain. Whole foods are less likely to give you issues in this area. So especially with carbs and fats, you want to try to get them from whole food sources as much as possible. Fourth, try to lower blood triglyceride levels. As I noted earlier, that's one of the things they think is involved in leptin resistance. Number 5, finally the last one, sleep. Sleep plays a major role in helping to regulate your hormones to help you get leaner and be able to sustain that long term. So hopefully you have a better understanding about what's making you hungry. You might start to understand why it's hard to actually stick to your diet, especially if you're decreasing body fat too quickly and your leptin levels are dropping too fast. So it might change the way you attempt losing weight.